very varied career in many ways. I've taught throughout my whole career. I've taught in maybe 10 schools in the United States, in Europe. I've taught in the Nordic region. I found it really quite wonderful. The ability as a sole practitioner to have the flexibility to just down tools and go and teach, and with every teaching experience to travel in that region to experience the best of that region, which has just been the greatest privilege. So I really have to say that I've had a very privileged career. It's been very fortunate, not always easy, been through many recessions, survived every one of them. At one period had to put my car up on blocks for 3 months, catch buses to site visits, but hanging on. And the most important thing in this profession is the ability to be able to hang on in the difficulties that do face each of us in a very, very complex profession, which is becoming more complex as time goes on. The diversity has included being on the Pritzker jury for 10 years, chairing it the last 2 years. I've now stopped all of that. I've declined any further invitations internationally, so please don't ask me because I hate saying no. And I'm just concentrating on my sole practice, but what I'm doing more often now than not is looking at a very good younger architect and working in collaboration that's absolutely equal collaboration, which is a wonderful way to work. And I'm doing that now with several projects that range in scale from being domestic through to a project that is just on $100 million at the moment for a most fantastic client, the Royal Far West Association, a not-for-profit organisation that are looking after children that are in difficulties from the far western parts of Australia, which includes far west, all through New South Wales, right across the Fitzroy Crossing in Western Australia. And they're able to bring them down children that have been abused and children that have learning difficulties and children who are not speaking at the age of 11 and 12 and teaching them how to communicate. And it's a very wonderful organisation. So my father said to me many years ago, son, remember that now you're entering practice, you must start off the way you would like to finish. And remember that for every compromise you knowingly make in your work, now that compromise is not about arrogance, that compromise is a state that you're doing something less than you're capable of, then the result of that compromise represents the quality of your next client. And that was a very important piece of advice. I've said enough, you'll get a lot more as we go through this program. Thank you.